So I'm Ajan. I'm here with Joel, and we're talking a little bit about hockey family today. And hopefully this is going to be one of many interviews where we talk about how you can contribute and how you can help in the same way that Joel and Hockey for Heroes does.
So my name is Joel Forrester. I'm the Managing Director of Hockey for Heroes, and it's been a pleasure of ours since we began to really help and support the hockey community where we can.
If you think back to 2015,
when it started,
before the first Endure, where were you then?
So we I think we had one men's team, 17, 18 people, maybe one or two people in support staff. It was purely more about us as friends having a bit of enjoyment and just loosely trying to raise some money for a good cause, obviously Help for Heroes. I think we played 22 games. We did the Three Peaks, was actually our first ever tour.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that was the first tour, and then 2 years later we actually realised, wow, look at the success of the first tour. Look at the impact of the first tour. Look at the exposure we got across the UK and the hockey family in the UK. Thought, right, well, maybe we're actually onto something here, that when we can help more. Maybe if we professionalised a little bit, connected with people like Celixir and yourself, and had a bit more guidance and a bit more, have you thought of this, have you thought of that? And then we carried a good friend of ours, Dom Lovett, who's quadriplegic, from Cardiff up to Bisham Abbey, connected with, as I said, over 30 different clubs. I can't even work out the amount of minutes of hockey that is, but it's hours and hours of hockey. And then we carried Dom 20 miles a day on the stretcher. So not only were we playing the 3-4 games of hockey a day, also the endurance side of it with carrying Dom on the stretcher. So that just pushed it to a new realm. You know, we had BBC interviews, we were on BBC Sport, we were on local media, we had paper clippings, we had magazines coming down, people from the papers come down taking photos. Ross Bone doing interviews with England Hockey and bigger. Top of the D, I think is his podcast. Even over to Australia, I had a phone call on one of the tours from an Australian podcast hockey entity, wanting to know who and what we were.
Fantastic.
You know, this is the other side of the world. So then that's planted seeds about, well, how can we then maybe in the future do something internationally, or have entities internationally that can do the same. So I think on the back of Op Stretcher was when I actually sat down and I was like, right, this is now big.
Yeah, we had a couple of conversations about what you wanted to do.
I came up to you guys at Stratford and we realised that this is now, we can really positively impact the hockey community here, not just supporting the military, which obviously is a big agenda of ours, but anyone in the hockey family and these clubs that need a lot of support, and we can provide that support, or we can be that middleman, that centralised hub to facilitate support or connections into different people to help. And I think on the back of Op Stretcher and sitting down with yourself and obviously Andy Halliday, we've then seen, you know, the real impact of Hockey for Heroes and how our help can reach every corner of the UK and it can really be impactful.
Yeah, I mean, I think from what I see, which is really interesting, is the strength of the relationships you have in the teams. Yeah. And then the strength of relationships you're making with the clubs. Yeah. You know, selection looks really tough. Is that sort of deliberate to make sure you're binding?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So the selection in itself is physically tough and mentally tough, and it's there for a reason, because to have connections with people, you have to see them and witness them at their worst.
At the worst, yeah.
And to be able to appreciate them at their best. And that's not just in sport, that's in life. When if you can see someone at their worst when they're struggling and go, right, he's gritting or she's gritting and she's really pushing through that says a lot about that person's soul. And I think to really want to help someone, you have to have that depth. It can't just be face value. It can't be surface value. To actually be impactful in life, you have to have depth. And to see someone go through that and then show us their depth, them show themselves to be vulnerable enough to go, do you know what, I'm really struggling, but I'm not going to stop. That shows depth, and that is such a core value of our group. And that's why when you see people on the pitch, off the pitch, in the bar, which is very much a part of hockey and sport, you have to be able to socialise and you have to be able to interact and have relationships off the pitch as well as on the pitch. to show that unifies and it bonds and it tightens. And when we go to clubs and they see that we are just a family, our hobby is hockey, which connects us all, but we're a family, and it's really important that clubs see that, and it's important that the hockey community see that whether you're at Beeston or Southgate or Dover or Ashford or wherever you are in the country, we are one. We should be one, and I think if we can unify a bit more with interactions, with connections, with guidance, support, advice, then it's only going to be good for everyone, and everyone's going to benefit from it. And that's not just from facilities or pitches or equipment, that's from help. That's from, do you need a coach? Do you need this? Do you need, there's someone that's really struggling at our club. Do you know what? He's got some maybe mental health issues. Do you know of anyone? Well, actually, yeah, we do. We've had, through Hockey for Heroes, we've come into contact with over 10 different people that we've referred to the medical services or different services that we have links to from Help for Heroes or whatever, obviously who've got a lot of background in mental health and psychological problems. We can refer people and help them through the medical way as well. It's not just turning up and raising 10 grand for X club. It's also, do you know what, Joe Bloggs is really struggling, and I know from friends within the hockey arena at the moment there has been some suicides in hockey, especially up in London. There's a club in London where sadly someone decided to end their life. Whereas if we had got in there early and someone had recognised that earlier, we could have helped.
And I think that's key, isn't it? It's really interesting in a connected society where we have multiple networks, there's still a need for help. And if you can create an environment where people are helping, it perhaps allows them to ask for help themselves, right? So you're in a positive environment.
Correct, yeah. And also for people to be okay with not, there's that phrase, isn't it, that's going around, be okay with not being okay.
Sure.
If you're not okay, that's fine. And certainly within our family, our Hockey for Heroes little family, that's what we're there for. If someone makes a mistake, there's going to be repercussions, but you're going to be supported. If you're not feeling great, then someone's going to be on your back saying, right, are you okay? You know, how can I help? What is wrong? Let's talk about it. Communicate. Let's see how we can help you. And it's important that to be successful within a team, whether it's business, sport, life, family, you have to be able to communicate. If you don't communicate your problems, then the problems don't get better. And that's something that we really push within our group, and it's very open. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what we were talking about a little bit. So what is, because this is a formula that is clearly working. So what is it? I mean, I think back to when you and I started playing club hockey, you'd actually spend a lot of time at the club. As a young junior, you'd spend a lot of time at the club. You'd have relationships with adults who are not family or parents or teachers who would say, hang on a minute, mate, what are you doing? And in this new society, we don't quite have that.
Do you know what it boils down to? My personal opinion, leadership. Leadership. So when I turned up to Maidenhead Hockey Club as a colt at the age of 13, 14 years old, there was a senior person in the team who really took me under their wing and made it their sole purpose to develop me and guide me through not just hockey, but the transition from colt to learning how to play adult hockey, how to interact with adults, how to play in a team with adults, and that is so crucial. I think if clubs can develop leadership within the team, not just the senior board, not just the presidents, the chairman, the managers, all that kind of stuff, but at every level down the club, if they can create leaders within a team, then the colts that are coming through will learn how to do that and then facilitate that themselves. And again, going back to Hockey for Heroes, we say leaders create leaders. Part of my role is to create leaders from within the team. I have a group of people who support me, who make kind of decisions on where we're going and how we're going to get there. We have 2 management groups who manage the squads, and then as a collective group, we have expectations that from the bottom rung to the top rung, everyone has to lead at something. You have to take responsibility, ownership, and accountability for everything, whether it's tidying up the dugout after we've left, or whether it's organising the insurance for the vans or everyone's insurance for an entire hockey tour. You know, everyone has a responsibility, but everyone has to buy into that. If one person doesn't, the wheel slows.
But I think it goes back to that theme, which is for us growing up, for all of us growing up, hockey has been more than just a sport. It's taught us a lot about life in society and how to interact. When you're a junior, how to interact with adults. As an adult, how do you interact with juniors, with other people, with umpires, with all kinds of things. And I wonder if that's the theme. You know, as we're saying, what's great about Hockey for Heroes is you start the conversation at the right place, which is we're here to help. We're here to help other people, but we're also here to help you. And I think there you start tapping into something that's perhaps missing, which is a more global sense of society. And with hockey, we have that. We have that, and we have the ability to help people. So, you know, we were talking about ops structure. So from 2016 to 2018, give me a sense of how big that community has grown.
So as numbers wise on social media, we're up to about 15,000 people just on one platform, which is on Facebook. We've got a big following on Twitter, Instagram. We're also on LinkedIn, stuff like that. So as a numbers wise, it's gone from being, you know, a very small entity, maybe 1,800, couple of thousand, to, you know, a mass following of over 15,000 people. Not only that, we've got closed communities where people from the clubs, the players, they also join, and we communicate with them, give them updates, all that kind of stuff. So we've got a few different ways in which we have kind of not ring fence, but we've identified the audience, and that is only set to grow as we grow, numbers grow, and it's all learning. As we're going, it's really important that we learn from everything we do. How can we make that better? How can we tweak that? Right, Club A needs support with this. How can we provide that better? Is there a better way we can go about doing it? And I think that's for me is really important, that when we're raising these numbers, raising our audience and our our reach, that we're doing it as efficiently and as best as what we can.
Yeah, but I agree 100%. But I think what's made it really sustainable is it's fun.
Yeah,
people want to play. You know, we always say to you, look, put a reasonable team out. You always put a brilliant team out, and you always beat us because you always bring in a bunch of ringers. But that's always great for us, right? So we always expect you to bring out a really good
we've got Wardy within our books, so
absolutely. Yeah. So I think for us, to me, the reason this is going to be forever is because it's sustainable. People enjoy the moment, and then they go home and think, wow, I've played a really good game of hockey, and I've helped raise X amount of money, or I've done something for a worthy cause.
And do you know what? It's not just that. It's also, that's just as important, is that when people go away, they go, do you know what? And they're really good people.
Yes.
That for me, if that is all they take from it, then that's enough.
Sure.
That's enough. You know, and I think it's really important that they see that. Yeah, we have the ability to put out a team from Div 7 Southwest. To conference National League teams from the ladies and the men. So, you know, it's really important that people see, okay, do you know what? Hockey is also about, it's about playing great hockey, having great fun, but it's about being a good person and being good people.
Your community have the right values. Absolutely.
Correct, and people that buy into it, and a big part of when you join Hockey for Heroes and to join Hockey for Heroes is we will be assessing you. We will be looking at you and going, right, okay, he's 20 minutes late all the time, or okay, she was meant to turn up wearing this and she hasn't. Okay, well that it's also going, right, there are rules that we require. Do you have the character to stick to them, because they're there for a reason. They're there to okay, we are unified. Okay, we appreciate that we've got an agenda, got to stick to timings. If I'm late, then I push all that back, which means everything goes to pot.
But it's also it's trust, isn't it?
Of course,
trust comes from everyone having and this is a good way to build something that's scalable and sustainable, because people are. It's not that it's difficult, but it's not easy. What you're saying to people is, we have a great cause, we have a great opportunity, we have a great contribution, but to be part of that, there are some simple rules you have to follow. A little bit about 2015 and 2016, which is stretcher, and then tell me more recently, because 2018 has been was a great year for you.
Yeah, it was the first ever ladies tour, and it was a really challenging event. So it was an 8-day tour where they played 30 games of hockey, and they did 8 endurance events that were all linked to either parachute regiment selection tests or Royal Marines selection tests. So for the lady, it was a real physically and emotionally charged and challenging experience. However, the girls were fantastic, and I think that was really important that we did that, and we've got the first one underway. Excuse me, so that the public see that this isn't just a male thing. This is a all-encompassing. Everyone, we represent the community, and in that is obviously men and women. So no, it was fantastic, and the girls raised over £40,000 for charity, which is brilliant. Fantastic. But not only that, again, we reached out to over 30 different clubs, played 30 different up at Reading, Canterbury. The girls did fantastically well, and they really got to experience what being a part of this organisation is truly about. So that was fantastic, and then this year, obviously, we're off to Nepal to climb the Anthuna Pass up to 5,200 metres to take on the Guinness World Record for the highest altitude game of hockey, which is set to be fantastic. And obviously, Andy Halliday is coming with us and dribbling a ball the entire route, so hopefully he doesn't lose too many like he did on the Three Peaks Challenge. Yes. We're going with Lincoln Minster School, which is a school we've collaborated with up in Lincoln, and there's 18 students, and the Hockey for Heroes members are going to be mentoring some of these students just on adversity and how your brain works when you're tired and fatigued and missing home and hungry and all that kind of stuff, which is stuff the guys and girls have learnt from being within Hockey for Heroes through the different tours. So they've got a lot of experience there in which the kids and students can dive into and really gain a lot from.
It's an amazing experience.
Yes.
To go to Nepal is fantastic.
On its own, of course, but not only that, and then obviously take on the Guinness World Record. Yes. But our aim is to create a legacy over there as well, a Hockey for Heroes legacy, Lincoln Minster School legacy, and there's a foundation called Hurricane Sports by Gary Johnson, who also is a part of this group. So we're dropping off into different schools en route up the mountain, and we're going to take a load of hockey equipment, donate it to them, hopefully give them a load of Hockey for Heroes t-shirts, and just leave a legacy of what and who we are, and take the sport in general to places it's never been before. Yeah. There's schools out there who will probably look at this stick and go, what on earth is this? And if we can give them their first experience into a sport that, as you said earlier, we get so much from, physically, health-wise, team-wise, friendship-wise, then that's an incredible thing for me to be a part of, and I will definitely enjoy.
Yeah, and the values continue. That's
absolutely
the underlying theme.
Yeah,
here,
of course.
Isn't it? So, if that's the underlying theme, so what are we planning for 2020, 2021?
So 2020, we've got Up Valkyrie, which is an Ironman in 2020, as well as rowing the Channel, as well as 30 games of hockey, and also we've thrown in a 20-mile speed march with Dom on the stretcher, just for good luck and to ensure that he stays involved in it as well. So the physicality side of it, we are stepping up a notch, and as we do that, the whole entity of Hockey for Heroes, we're trying to professionalise as well. So expectations of training, of diet, of performance, of how we approach everything. We're just trying to tweak and just get better, because it's us as people and the kind of people we attract. We don't just sit and plateau. And certainly one thing I've taken from working with yourself or the guidance you've given me is that entities go like that. If you want to progress and get better, as you've explained to me a few times, it's like a ladder, and you have to go up and you plateau, then you go up and you plateau, and you learn and you develop. And that's definitely something that I've taken from our connection, and something that has been so valuable to us, and with your connection and Celixir as well. Since we've collaborated, we've raised over £250,000 from the support you've given us, and the doors in which you've opened for us, and the support and just even guidance for me personally has pushed us on, and certainly from me, I'm very thankful for that. And your whole organisation, we wouldn't be where we are without your support.
You've been able to do is to produce a platform for people to be able to share that knowledge, that experience, that expertise, and resilience with a huge community. And I think every club that you go to, you show people, particularly when you're carrying Dom on a stretcher, that resilience is important in every walk of life, and that's part of the message, isn't it?
Very much so.
Hopefully none of us experience the things that would test our end level resilience, but a small part of playing in a team sport is contributing to your team, not letting your teammates down.
Correct.
Doing the extra bit of running, covering for your mate who you're playing hockey with, or covering for someone who's actually not a mate but is in your team. And those are the skills that we're trying to say, right? And if we can do all of that for a worthy cause, and make that cause as broad as we can, so it's inclusive, it has the right values, it's all about contribution, it's all about helping people, then that's something I think that we can build on. In a society that we're beginning to see needs more and more help from outside groups.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's our objective as a whole, is just to help. Whatever a club needs, if help is required, whatever that help is, we will have a way in which to help. And I guess we see ourselves as like a centralised hub, that where if people need anything from a coach, from potentially help with a pitch, to whatever it may be, a hockey camp, we have the connections and the reach to facilitate that and help that where potentially other people can't. And our objective is to facilitate that however in which we can, and sometimes it's not just about what we can give to a club from a coach or a pitch or whatever. It's also the people within the community. So for example, our connection with Anna, that is very important to us, and I think that's something that we hope that the wider audience know, that we're not just here to support a small group. We're here to support everyone and everything, if we can facilitate it and if we can, and it was very important to us that we made that game with Anna the other week, and that we showed our appreciation to the struggle she's going through, and that we acknowledge that. And I think that is massive. Sometimes even if someone can't do something, just to acknowledge, I see you, I feel you, I get it, I'm there to help if you need anything. Sometimes that's enough.
Absolutely.
For some people.
And I think that's a central theme, isn't it? It's a hockey family.
Yeah.
How do we all contribute to this community? And Hockey for Heroes is a mechanism that allows you to contribute as much as you can.
Yeah.
And everything that you do is appreciated, and I think we all see that. And I think Anna Hadley is a great example of someone who's only 13 that's already contributing.
Yeah, in an incredible way. So help comes in so many, so many variant ways, that it's not just us turning up and.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I think mental health issues. I think there's lots of things that community helps with. And I think hockey is a really healthy way, in the broader sense, of people being able to contribute, right? So you're obviously doing the physical exercise, but you're also part of a community. You're part of a team. You've got you've got people you can talk to. You've got people who are the friends who are listening to you. So I think there is a bigger mission. I think what we're seeing is the beginning of how we move from, as you say, the very first. Because unless you're raising money at the beginning, you have to do that, right?
Of course you do.
You have to.
Well, to understand your value and see how else, other than just fundraising, how else you can help. You have to go through these phases of transition to go, okay, this is where taking restock, this is where we're at. Do you know what? We can actually achieve this and this and this. And this.